I messed that up again. So we did that, but now we're live. So that's kind of cool. No intro today, but at least we're live. So, all right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hopping on here with Gordon Day, Tim Lennon, and my friend Jack. Lars. What's the last name? Lara?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you pronounce it?
You can call me Joe Billy Bob if you want.
All right, Joe Billy Bob. How do you pronounce Jack's last name?
Lotta.
Okay, there you go. All right, and what do we got? What would you guys like to talk about today to add some value to these agents that are going to be tuning in?
Ooh, value for the
Well, it's fourth quarter of the year, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to talk about what's coming up for next year, how you're going to reproduce or improve what you did last year. That'd be my contribution.
Yeah, let's go down that road. That's awesome. So we can all use that. And if you've already done your business plan, we can probably help you tweak it a little bit and make it a little bit better. So what's your thoughts there, Mr. Tim Lennon?
So a number of different things. First of all, just make sure you get with any one of us if you're in our area or if you know us or you just want to know us. I'm sure we all can help you immensely with trying to put together your plan. And from just a basic standpoint, what we try and look at is what are you struggling with right now, and try and drill down into what you might need some assistance with. And typically it comes down to, are you getting enough leads? Are you able to convert leads to actual customers and take customers to clients and clients into sales, and then turn them into sphere of influence? And I think, Dan, that's your 5 pillars webinar. Is that pretty much a summary of that overview anyway?
Yeah, leads, prospect to close. Prospect to client to close, and closed raving fans. So yeah, if you break down your business in those 5 pillars, then you can know what to focus on. If you're kind of looking at your real estate as one big thing to work on, like a car, sometimes you have different parts in your business, different trouble areas, and focus on each of those 5. Sometimes it's 4. Sometimes people leave out prospect to client. Leads to prospect. Well, yeah, prospect to client, because they want to go straight from lead to a client. But I think that's a little bit of a mistake. In my business, it was anyway, because I want to pick and choose who my clients are. So I don't want all my leads to turn into clients, because some of them, you put the wrong client, it can mess your year up, your numbers for your year up. So I've had a few buyers over the years, not recently, luckily, knock on wood, but have had a few buyers that, throw my numbers off for the year, because I picked the wrong buyer with the wrong, didn't do a strong enough needs assessment up front. And I didn't understand enough about that buyer to realize that maybe they weren't really a buyer, or maybe they weren't the type buyer that I wanted to work with. So way too much time invested. I'm going to spend a lot of time with someone if it's the right, if we need to. But if it's that type of buyer that maybe has a free and clear house and they would like to move, but they'll move when they find the exact right house. Just one example. There's lots of different examples. But yeah, if you'll break down your business in those 5 areas, then you can get better and better at the area that you need the most help in, and then that'll make your business overall stronger.
What are some key questions you ask a potential buyer to find out whether they're going to be not on your team?
Yeah, well, for that, I'll use real life examples. So the one lady, she did have a free and clear house, and she wanted to move, and she was going to move when she found the perfect house. So that was probably the red flag, the perfect house, right? So that type buyer can be great, but they can also, because they can buy, but they don't have much motivation. She just wanted to move, but she didn't have to move, need to move. And she also was only going to move when she found the perfect house. After some research and showing her way too many homes and talking to her loan officer, and then getting her loan officer to give me her last realtor's contact information, she'd been doing this for years and years and years with different agents. So it was, she was actually pretty good at it, because when she became aware that I was about to fire her in the relationship, she started putting houses under contract. And then, so that helped me to, me to stay on the hook for her. And then she would back out of the contracts, because she found the next house that was the perfect house. So let's go out of contract on that one and go under contract on this one. So then after many, many houses, and about to fire her, now I'm stuck in, now it's really hard to fire because we're under contract.
Yeah.
And then she did that over and over and over. And so, those buyers aren't out there a lot. But then also, the type of person, maybe they live in their parents' house and they're saving for the down payment. Maybe they don't really have the down payment yet, or maybe they'll never ever have down payment. Or, one of my least favorite ones is, hey, my fiance is going to buy us a house and I'm in charge. Let's go look. But he's kind of busy and doesn't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then if I don't talk to him, I don't know. Are you really getting married? Is he really going to buy a house? Things like that. So those are buyers that do work out a lot of times, but you have to be a little bit aware and slightly concerned for some of those because they can, if it's not sincere, maybe after a while, if I finally get to the lady or man that's the primary buyer that doesn't have time to talk to me, if we're having an honest conversation, they might be going, I don't know, we might buy a house, right? So
or it might mean that spouse doesn't want to spend time with the spouse that you're stuck with trying to show houses to.
Yeah, maybe he's got
time to spend with her, or he.
Maybe they have several girlfriends, and
we don't want to go down too far down the tube here on that, but let's dive into a couple parts of it if we can. So those are some great real life kinds of examples. Gordon, you've been doing this just a minute. What are you trying to talk to agents about right now in terms of developing their business and helping them get kind of launched or retrenched or reoriented for the next year?
Yeah. I kind of agree with what Dan just mentioned, go through those pillars, but, it starts with leads, that pillar. If they're not getting past that lead generation, and the funny thing I hear when I start talking to agents, I was talking to an agent yesterday, and she had been spending $500 a month getting Zillow leads, and they're all crappy leads. I was like, oh, okay. So tell me more. And she was getting a few leads from Zillow, and I said, well, how many? Do you know the ratios, the batting average? Your son plays basketball. Does he hit 100% of what he shoots? No, he does not. That would be crazy. I said, well, your mindset needs to understand the numbers of the lead generation platform that you're on. You can't have a good business if you don't know your numbers, which is what we're trying to get to on our business plan, is understand the lead generation numbers. If you're doing internet, Dan does a lot of internet numbers, to become successful on the internet. Typically 1 to 3% is a good number, right, Dan?
That's correct.
Yeah. So if you understand that, you're going to fail anywhere from 99 to 97 times, and you're just going next. And so I told her it's probable that those weren't crappy leads. It was one of a couple things. Conversation was wrong, or she didn't go through enough leads yet, and she doesn't know the batting average. So that's where I think we're going to be able to provide, the information. First, understand lead generation and what are the numbers for you to reach the success that you want to achieve. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. So if I'm getting the gist of where we're at here this morning, Dan does successfully and has done in the past and is going to actually show us next week live, following up on some internet leads that are generated strictly properties and or website. So it's going to be a live prospecting call next Thursday. You can tune in and ask about that. It's free, by the way. But so we've got internet leads that are being generated. Everybody knows what a sphere of influence or friends and family and that kind of thing is, so that you are able to talk to all of them. If you don't know about how to do that, I'm sure any one of us could tell you a bunch about how to pursue that. There's several other different sources of lead generation, though, right? Because not everybody wants to go cold call or door knock. They don't want to circle prospect around properties. They don't want to necessarily farm. There's any number of social media things you can do to be able to present yourself to the public. You generally, bottom line is, you have to get in front of people somehow, and you have to be face to face to be able to actually do some kind of transaction. So right now, I know that Jack, you and Gordon have been working hard on the open house platform, which most agents kind of shy away from, but you've had some great success. So why not share a little bit, Gordon, first with what the plan is, what the program is, and Jack, you can maybe share some of your success that you've had with it. Sound good?
Yeah.
Right. So that's interesting. You just brought that up, Tim, because that was the transition of the conversation yesterday with that agent, understanding the numbers, and, 1 out of 3 buyers from an open house would turn into a transaction. Okay. So that's if you have 15, and I gave her the numbers, but she knew the math. The mindset is, I do 3 open houses and nobody buys from me. Nobody comes in, or only one person comes in. One person has their real estate agent with them. And the mindset needs to be that it's the math. The math is that if I do 15 open houses or 30 open houses, 1 out of 3 will convert to a buyer. And so understanding those numbers, you can fail, win, fail, win. And most agents don't understand. They want to win, win. And, that's not the real world. So what Jack has done is understood those numbers. He fails, wins, fail, win. And you can make a lot of money doing open houses. The other thing I told these agents, they are unaware that, when you use branded signs, I said, look at what happened to me. I didn't make a sale last week, but I put out 20 signs with my name on it. I actually had neighbors around the open house come talk to me, thinking about selling in the future. They have seen my branded signs week after week, and that is a free advertising that the neighborhood begins to know me. The other thing, about open houses, people say, well, I don't want buyers. Well, 1 out of 4 open house buyer converts into a listing.
That's a pretty high number.
That's the numbers I get. 1 out of 4. That's 1 out of 4 buyers. They even ask, and NAR would tell you, the buyer will use the first agent they actually meet.
Yeah.
That's not my stat. That's NAR.
So you're talking about some numbers about things that agents really don't generally like to do, open houses. And that's primarily my experience, at least, is that they don't do them because their concept of an open house is run over a half an hour before the open house, put a sign up, and then sit and wait for people to come by. They may put out some directional signs, but that's about it. They don't put out a significant number of them. So the open house playbook that we've been talking about has a whole kind of layout for how to do that, right? And it's much more involved than just sticking a yard or sign in the yard the day of open house. So we've talked about doing Saturday and Sunday open houses. So if you're going to put out signage on Friday night, that you're able to maximize the visibility. So your marketing, your free brand marketing, is going to go out for the next 72 hours, plus or minus. Right. And that means anybody driving along a well-located home is going to have some great knowledge of you as an agent. They're at least going to have seen your sign. Whether they're paying attention to it consciously or not, subliminally, they're going to be paying attention to it. If it's in a market area that you're actually focused on or want to get more business from, then you're really building that understanding of who you are in that neighborhood, which you can then leverage a bunch of different ways. So when doing those 2 open houses every weekend, Jack, you've been having some great success.
Yeah, I have. So I have to improve my numbers. because I've been measuring it by the actual event and how many transactions come out of the event. So for me, it's a 3-to-1 ratio. Whole 3 open houses, I'm going to get a deal from that open house. So 15 open houses. So I need to do a better record keeping of who's coming to the open house individually, and then try to break them down into categories. Maybe I do a DISC assessment of them really quickly. So then to see what group of people of the 4 different categories do I do well with, and then how do I improve that? And then my weak point, how do I make it not be so weak? So that way I'm not going with 3 events to get 1 deal, but 3 events, but how many people come to each event? So crunch the numbers better, which then will make me adjust to be better. So then that 3-to-1 ratio might be, hey, every time I do an open house, there's going to be a deal. It may not happen right away, but it's going to happen in the next 12, 24 months from that open house.
So, and Jack, you're putting up signs, right? You're putting up signs several days before, like a Friday through Sunday, right?
Or several hours before, but I'm timing my open houses to occur within 48 hours of a listing going live. I like to do my open houses right away, not as an afterthought. So the focus of the whole listing presentation is the open house.
So if you wanted to increase your effectiveness of having open houses and the time you're spending, could you get a virtual assistant possibly, or yourself, to do some circle prospecting to invite neighbors to that open house? Have you done that?
Yeah, I have, but now I've got it on paper. So business planning for next year. So 15 open houses in 2022. I need to double that number to 30 and try to front load it to the first quarter of 2023. I have to do that in order to achieve my capping goal in the first 3 months.
Now you're bragging, though. You're bragging for everybody because you're going to be an icon this year, which means you are 100% agent and you're going to get your stock. So it's basically nothing to EXP, right?
Yeah, but my mindset over the last several months, especially talking to you 3, is I'm looking at the numbers differently. So every dollar counts. It really does.
That absolutely does. So do you think you could get that productivity? Could you get more transactions out of open houses if you were doing more of that circle prospecting?
Yeah, which might include I'm a lot better face to face with people versus on the phone. So that you know what that means. I'm going to have to go knock on some doors. Yeah, and then maybe the homeowner that I'm going to do the open house, have them prospect for me. You know, why not?
So I think there's a bunch of things tied into that with social media that we can talk about at some point.
Yeah,
but there's
all that stuff. So I got to bring everything together for that open house. So, and then create momentum and then see where that goes. Right? It's all about momentum.
Which then ties back into your lead generation piece, right? That's the first step.
Which then means I know I have to get way better with KV Core. I got to be able to hit that outside breaking ball from a lefty pitcher on my right-handed batting stance, or at least know how to foul off somebody who pitches a slider inside waist high. He's going to get me. This is all there is to it. So it's always about getting better, right?
Always trying to improve your skill set, because we've all been doing this a minute and been alive a minute, but it's not like any time that I look at it, I can't improve what I'm doing to get a bigger result.
Yeah, because if you're not getting better, somebody is.
Right.
So might as well be you.
So Tim, can I just chime in here real quick? Because what I find is, and the reason I feel we can bring value is agents get stuck in the lead generation. They don't have the whole playbook. They don't understand the whole system. And what they'll do is they'll bounce around from one lead gen, like Dan did, almost did, internet leads, open house systems, circle prospecting, farming. They bounce around and say nothing works. I think if they're hearing us, that we have a playbook, and we could probably share that with them if they want to attend one of our training sessions, right?
Yeah,
sure.
So that would be, in my mind, you'd have A to Z, a plan and a playbook on how to create a business in 2023.
Sounds awesome. And I know
I think it's called focus. If you're really good at something, can it be better?
It always gets better. It always gets better.
Mm-hmm. And then you just have a few parts of your game plan that you focus, and you are the expert, whether that's working your sphere of influence and how do I get better to be a better listener, better communicator, and not to be afraid to ask questions. Just go ahead and do it.
And listen to people who are doing a good job already, right? Who are actually doing something that actually works. Because Zillow is great. If you've got no business at all and you're willing to pay 35% or $500 to $1,500 a month, they can be great. But you still have to have a system behind it, and follow up is everything in all of these. So Dan, I know we've got a little bit of time crunch here. We don't want to go too long on these videos. You want to tell people how they get a hold of any of us to be able to sign up for the playbook, sign up for a class, reach out about any kind of coaching information or just sales information?
Yeah, Tim, you want to give your phone number, and then I'll give mine, and we can give the phone number. They can reach out to, get on my calendar and just tell me, that you're on here, and then we can discuss, which person that I set you up on a call with, either Jack or Gordon or Tim. But Tim, and we just all give out our phone numbers. There's not really a place for me to put it in a chat here, but Tim, you want to just give out your phone number? We can sift and sort the agents out through that way.
Sure. You just can't call after midnight. It's 404-368-2607.
Okay, good, great. And if
that's
Gordon,
West Coast time, right? After midnight West Coast time. And my number, if you need it, if you want to call me, 850-554-9543. I'm in Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah, Gordon.
Hey, Gordon, you'll understand this from flying. Focus and situational awareness. So whatever you're doing in business, you're focused on it, but you have to be aware of your surroundings and how that's playing, right?
Absolutely.
You can debrief yourself or with somebody else.
100%. So yeah, if anybody wants to reach out to me, you can give me a call, text me at 850-0575. So you can call me, text me. I'm with Tim. I'm on Central Standard Time though. So my time, if you can't call Tim at 12, call me at 11. So that's fine.
Yeah. Pensacola Central Time.
Central Time.
Yeah, I'll leave you with one pro tip. So something I've been working on with some agents lately is I bought a lot of shiny objects over the years, and I've chased down a lot of shiny objects, but my business life changed once I started being consistent and having daily consistency. So I a while back, I kind of manipulated it to think I could hit certain numbers for a week, but that didn't really work out nearly as well as daily. So, I wasn't blessed with a whole week in life, right? Today's going, not really blessed with a day maybe, but today's so far so good. But it's that daily consistency of getting a little bit better, and then adding those numbers and stacking those wins up on a daily basis, not really a weekly basis. Because when I was doing it weekly, it's easy to say, well, I won't do much today. I can double up tomorrow. And I usually actually would, but the results weren't quite the same as if I just doubled down on today. And then today, add what I learned and how I grew from today to tomorrow. And I love what Jack said, because I can see Jack's getting into the part of where you're looking at it more like a business than selling your next house. And so if the dollars add up and the minutes add up, then it really is that understanding that we are business owners of our real estate business. No matter if you're a broker owner, if you're a solo agent, if you're a new agent, it's still your business. And so once you can look at it more and more like making business decisions as you're selling a house, then I think the better off your business be, and the quicker you'll grow.
Great stuff. Appreciate you guys spending the time this morning. We can do this again next week.
Yeah, let's see y'all next Friday.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank
All
you
right,
all.
thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.